right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Horse Force. Here we are in a very, very blue world, but we're also facing some adversity. So let's talk about what's going on the map here so far. Right now, Europe is looking good, as is most of Africa, and that's a good sign, frankly, moving forward. But we are now on day 11, and day 11 means cannon are coming within the next couple days. And that's going to be a sad, sad day for the horses. I mean, let's face it. Right now, we're all just running around, galloping to and fro, and we pretty much got the run of the map, as it were. But once those artillery start showing up, it's gonna ruin some uh, some horse attitudes, let's say. But we still have the overwhelming numbers. That's what we're hoping for here, just to really overwhelm people. And I'm looking at this. Leave this to the locals here. That's a coal. And yeah, I was thinking about, as I'm moving back, I'm moving a bunch of my forces back westward here because I just don't know what more can I accomplish. And frankly, I guess I could be part of a push east here. I kind of need to be, I think. Yeah, there's a big portion here that is sort of unchallenged. Those are all AI. That's good. But man, it's so far away from my capital. But what else can I do? I've gotten to the point now where I have to worry about distance from capital and morale. So I can't really go anywhere. If you look at it, I've got to cross the water here to go down into Africa, or go way east into the Middle East, or cross the water all the way into the New World. And the New World is a scary place right now. Although we do have one of our top players over here, Sir Tandoom here, the California Republic, is one of us. We also have one of the top players in the game, Argentina, over here, who is not one of us. And then a majority of the players, in fact, in the New World are not. So to cross the water, we know, is a dangerous proposition, because once you get there, it takes a long time for your morale to build, and your capital is so far away. And so, to build up the capability to generate an army on that side of the ocean is very difficult. You have to move there with a large army and take over a large swath of territory, which you can see some of us are already doing that. You can see Scotland is moving in. And I think at this point, I'm really tempted to move in and support Scotland in that effort. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Oh, it's scary to move all the way across the ocean like that. But that might be what's up. We might try to establish a horse encampment over here on this side of the world. And then once we have enough territories where we can start generating troops on that side of the map, we can do that. But as for me right now, I'll just show you what I've got here. I think is nine horses total, which is not a lot by day 11. But I do have, I believe, 5 generating. What I've really been focusing on is trying to build up my, so you can see a level 1 factory building up to a level 2. I believe the same thing over here, level 1 building to a level 2. I'm trying to keep those factories going, especially, of course, on the double wheats here, and just keep that production going. When you have a level 4 factory, you can build a horse in 6 hours. So it's nuts. You can build 4 horses a day. So really, it's just a matter of being able to have enough fish and wheat to build them and make it happen. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead. There's just really nothing else for me to do. It doesn't look like Olaf here is going to do anything soon. Yeah, I could go ahead and take that single wheat over here. It's close enough, and it doesn't look like he's taking it anytime soon. So I'm going to go ahead and do that before I cross the water. So let me go ahead and go all the way to here and take that wheat. I really want that wheat. We are all so food hungry at this point, seriously. And it doesn't look like Spain has the ability or the inclination to take it anytime soon. In fact, Spain is faltering here. Olaf, my friend, are you anywhere else on the map? I don't see Spain anywhere else. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and take this portion here of Portugal. I don't need the coal, but the wheat would be nice, and it gives me a launching point to move across to the New World, where possibly we can attack Newfoundland and take that double fish over there and have a staging zone for attacking. I do have right of way there. You hate to betray the old AI, but having a double fish here would give me an opportunity to start establishing a beachhead and a production zone. I think Scotland has the right idea here, because who is this bloody rooster here? British Canada just looks like nothing but low morale wasteland here. So good for you, Scotland. You made the risk. You went across with a decent sized army, and then Ireland too. Scotland and Ireland. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, good for you guys. All right, I'll be coming over shortly. I'm going to go ahead and take over Portugal, and then I'll join you over there. So, the horses are spreading to the New World. This is similar to what actually happened. Horses are not native to North America. They came from Europe. In fact, the conquistadors, the Spanish, brought them to the New World, where the horses just immediately spread and took over. And the natives who had been living on foot, for thousands of years, immediately took up horsemanship and really realized a huge technological advantage in horses and became masters of horses, to the point where once the United States was colonizing westward, they finally reached a zone in the middle there with the Apache and the Comanche, had mastered horses to such an extent that they could fight from horseback, and they literally stopped the westward expansion of the United States. It's a very interesting history. And what ended up sort of tipping the historical scales against the natives there was the invention of the revolver that you could shoot from horseback. Initially, the Americans here fought in a similar way that the British did, which is they would use horses to ride to a scene of battle. They would get off their horses, get out their muskets, and proceed to fight. Whereas, the Comanche, the Apache, the Cheyenne, the Plains Indians in this region would just ride on by, shooting arrows from horseback and just keep on riding, where you'd be standing there like, when are they going to get off their horses and come fight us? And, meanwhile, 3 of your friends have arrows through their necks. So anyway, wow, that was a digression about horses. But anyway, that's what this game is all about, right, folks? Horses, my God. So if we move over, I want to kind of highlight some of the people who are kicking some butt here. Hertz here, British Egypt, is just steadily moving into, I think this is Arabia's territory over here. Yeah, just slowly but steadily. And this is what I like to see. Not overextending, not pushing everything he has, but moving forward cautiously, keeping his borders tight, and just moving in where you see an advantage, you take it. You can see he's going to be moving into this one shortly. He's keeping away from this fort because it's an unknown quantity. That's a level 2 fort. We don't know how many people are in there. So he's just, again, though, keeping people in the territories adjacent to that and taking everything else, isolating that fort, reducing their morale. The morale is down to 24 now. So the troops there, probably not as low as 24, but probably definitely getting lower every turn. So good play there from Hertz. And we're seeing good play across the board. One of the things I did see over here that kind of frightened me was, we mentioned over here, this is General Power of Us here. General Power of Us has gotten into a bit of a bind over here, going to war over here with British Burma, right? And you can see this is not a good fight to be in. So even though there's no fort on this territory, we see that Power has 10, 15, 17 against a superior number here. So there are 10, 18, and then more streaming in. But that's not the end of the story, because, first of all, Power has more troops around the vicinity. But even more importantly, here comes China. Chinese Empire is galloping down with large numbers, and he's one of us, by the way, and taking over these two, which is a great move, by the way. British Burma here. He's giving up a double steal. He's going to be taking that double steal any minute. We think, I'm not sure. Let's see how many are attacking in here. 15 horses supported by 34. So, and before you say, 15 is too many. No, it's not. I've got 9, but I've lost a lot. I've been playing kind of lackadaisical here. And it is one thing I'll say. If you look at my KD ratio, it's not the best in the world, but I am often the commander who will go ahead and throw away troops to take stuff quickly. So if you look at my territory ratio, it's pretty good. Like I take a lot of territory, I don't lose much. But I like maybe if I was in a real war with real people, I would be more careful with their lives. But since it's a game, I'm like, whatever, which is terrible, of course. I'll throw it into that fort. I'll throw these 40 guys into that fort because I really want that territory quickly. Terrible attitude. But we do know some of the most successful generals in actual warfare have been kind of like that, have been somewhat bloodthirsty and willing to sacrifice the lives of their men. Not a great thing at all, but sometimes what's necessary to ultimately win the war. So interesting to see what's happening. China trampling on down here with a bunch of horses. We see more Chinese here, Chinese Empire here. And so what we could potentially see and what we need to see probably is power moving down with even more. Now, he's going to lose this battle the way it stands right now just because Burma is moving so many troops down here to confront, and you can see power is not moving in an equal number to confront in return. However, he can still hold his line if he moves into these 3 adjacent territories. You can see he has 10 here that aren't doing anything at all. They could move up to defend this fort. He does have a good 14 over here that can move 7 and 7 here, start to tighten up those borders. So we're seeing some conflict over here in the Indian region here. China coming in. China, by the way, a strong, strong player. Let's just go ahead and take a minute here and look at the top players in the game. So we have Argentina. Argentina we're going to go look at in just a minute. Argentina is, of course, in the New World here. France, who is me, and I'm not going to take any huge credit here. I'll tell you exactly why I'm in second place right now, and that is because about halfway through the game over here, one of our Horse Force friends said, I'm leaving the game. Come on over and take my stuff. So I went ahead and took their stuff, and they just yeeted their stuff out into the ocean. So I was able to easily take a bunch of stuff on that side of the map. I've captured some stuff. I felt pretty good about my capturing and everything, but I have to say overall, that was just a bit of luck. Somebody was like, hey, I'm leaving the game. And I was like, hey, do you feel like throwing all of your troops at an AI and, crashing and burning and leaving your territories undefended? And they were cool about it, and they did. Speaking of that, that's also what, who is it, Poland did? Yeah, Poland was doing the same thing. And so I reached out to the nearest player over here, which happened to be Ukraine. And I was like, hey, Poland's leaving, so go ahead and grab their stuff. So Ukraine went ahead and did that too. So sometimes just being near somebody with enough troops to make a difference can be a huge boon. So let's go back to our standings here. So you can see Ukraine is now tied with me at 72 and probably going to surpass that because he still has a couple more to take from Poland. Right now we have France and Ukraine in first place. British Egypt we saw. We just got through looking at, I believe that was Hertz down there, kicking some butt in the Middle East. If we continue on down, Chinese Empire, who we were just looking at. Chinese Empire is really, you can see a large swath of land continuing to attack downwards. I'm really glad to see him joining up borders with power because power is struggling there in the east of the Indian Peninsula there, the Indian subcontinent here. So yeah, a little bit of battle going on here. It does look like that's going to go against British Madras here. So it's good that China's coming down and taking some of the pressure off of this northern front here. If we move further east, we will see what has happened here is our friend Benaya here has taken a pretty big hit. So Manchuria came in with an all-in sort of attack. We suspect it was a vengeance attack, an all-in vengeance attack, and took away the double fish. Now, it probably wouldn't have been that big of a deal, but it happened at exactly the same time as Japan attacked in and captured an island here and has been threatening heavily here. So we had what was essentially a spy country who immediately had to fend off major military attacks from two different major powers in the region. So it's unclear as to whether they're going to be able to get Pyongyang back. We'll see what happens. I mean, he's holding steady here with forts in adjacent territories. Japan is very active right now. So I do know that Horse Force players in the region have responded protectively, which I think is great. My initial impulse was, of course, to run over there, but my God, by the time I get over there, it'll be 5 days later. It'll be way too late. So anybody in the region, by the way, that's Chinese Cat. I think Chinese Cat has offered some assistance. Chinese Cat, of course, anybody down here, Philippines. Philippines is a Philippines. Who are you, my friend? Are you? Yep. That is Shindrago. Okay. Yeah, anybody can offer him help, because remember, if you help him now, then he will be beholden to you, and you will have the use of his spies later. So everything is transactional with the Merchant of Menace. So the idea being, I'm sure if you help him now, you can leverage that for some spy activity to your benefit in the future. So yeah, when I see something like this, I do see a need to move things in eastward. I see China coming down, lots of good activity. So let's move on to our last arena here, which is the New World. The New World, as we've already seen, we kind of mentioned quickly, California here is, let's scroll down just a little bit, number 6, just right behind the top players. So right now the top grouping is very close. California is right up there, and you can see why. A large swath of territory there. You can also see that right now the United Latin American Nations are horse force, and they're doing rather well as well. Now, let's look at Argentina. Here's Argentina, the dominant player in the game, the number 1 player in the game. But what is happening here? Argentina, where are you? This is not Argentina. This is Chile. Here's a stack from Argentina. One guy. All of this spreading and attacking is Chile. Like, I don't know what's going on. There may be a transfer of power happening here. We can't see anything what's going on here. There could be tons of troops all through this region. But what we can see right here looks really bad for Argentina and really good for Chile. And, by the way, really good for the United Latin American Nations, because they're not coming up against an organized, hardcore enemy in Argentina here. So I don't know what's going on here. Argentina is currently the number 1 player in the game. And so let's just check coalitions briefly. I haven't done that, and that's dumb for me not to. So Argentina is SAO. Chile is SAO. Okay. So I was starting to get a little bit happy there, thinking that perhaps there was some conflict down there, but they are in the same coalition. That means there's a lot of guys here. This is a great choke point here in Panama City, and I like the way United Latin American Nations is playing this cautiously with forts and just slowly moving down. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. We do need to see some more horses over here. All right, we got some horses. Good. Build them up, because pretty soon when the artillery hit the map, it's going to be a whole different story, and we really need to outnumber them. So that's my fear about the New World, is we do seem to have a unified New World here, at least to this respect of, yep, Argentina and Chile here, two large, Chile not so much, but Argentina certainly, large countries in working together in tandem. Are there any others that are in that coalition? It looks like not at this point. This is CSA. Wow, Venezuela. I believe that's Confederate States of America over here with Trump, something or other, 5-8. Wow. Okay, interesting. Very interesting stuff happening here. does look like this is going California's way. Yep, California is about to take Houston and Fort Smith, Arkansas. Wow, that's on the map. Oh, here's Little Rock, Arkansas. I'll be darned. Yeah, wow. Okay, but it does look like these battles are going California's way. California, be careful. We've talked about this. Don't grow too spread out and too thin. Keep those borders tight. Be cautious, and yet at the same time adventurous. This battle looks like, ooh, no forts. Ouch. That's going to go California's way as well. Jackson is in California's hands. So, wow, we are about to see a lot of stuff shifting over here. The Confederate States of America under Trump here, Trump 058, are about to lose 4 territories. So Sertan Doom over here in California, bringing the hammer down. And that is what we need to see for Horse Force in the New World. We really do. I think South America is going to be our premier challenge in this game. Giving them time, they're going to start to have Air Force, they're going to have naval powers, they're going to have artillery, and we're going to be running at them with horses. So we better have a lot of them, folks, a lot of horses. Horses on top of horses, ladies and gentlemen. All right, thanks for hanging in there. I know this has been a long one, but it's been a couple days and some new developments are happening. Lots of exciting stuff so far. So thanks for joining us for Horse Force here. I'll see y'all next time. Adios, amigo.